Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video we are going to talk about an important concept through which we could actually ingest data into Microsoft Fabric through the help of on-premise gateway, and which could essentially be used for SQL Server. So if you are running a SQL Server machine, let's say a Windows on SQL Server on Windows, you could essentially use this gateway for ingesting data into Microsoft Fabric. But for getting started, you would need to configure this gateway. Means you would need to install it, configure it, and once it is ready, you could actually use and create connections based upon this gateway to fetch the data into Microsoft Fabric from an on-premises SQL Server. So let's not waste more time on theory. Let's try to see how we are gonna configure this gateway. So friends, before we could actually install the on-premises gateway for SQL Server, we would have to log in into Microsoft Fabric. And once we are logged in into the Microsoft Fabric, we could use this download arrow at the top to essentially download the gateway. Now there are multiple types of gateway, but what we are really interested is an on-premises SQL Server gateway, which would essentially connect our Microsoft Fabric to the SQL Server which is running on-premises. Now once I click on the data gateway, it actually opens up another window from where you could download this Power BI gateway. This is also known as a Power BI gateway also. So there are two modes to this. One is the standard mode and one is the personal mode. Personal mode is more useful in case you don't want to expose this gateway to the other users. Standard mode is I would say the recommended mode by which you could actually install this, and it could be used by multiple users or could be shared by the other users. So let's say if I just use this download button, and it could actually install it. So download it. So if you see, I did download it, so you could see that copy of it. But let's try running this file, which is now downloaded, and see how it actually installs it, and we could then configure it. So if we see, this is already now downloaded. So once I click on the open file, and remember guys, this one is only meant for Windows. You cannot use it for Mac or any other thing. So unfortunately, the on-premises gateway could essentially be used for a SQL Server running on a Windows machine. So once you click on that, it is going to ask you some basic things like where you want to install. So once I click on the accept terms of a use and privacy statement, I could just click on the install, and it will take a couple of minutes to get it installed. And then finally, after the installation, it is going to ask you for different I would say configurations or certain parameters for configuring that. So once it is configured and properly installed within your SQL Server machine, because I'm already running a SQL Server on my Windows machine, then you could actually see this gateway's status within Microsoft Fabric also. So I'll just fast forward the video so that once it is installed, we can take it from there. So guys, you can see the installation is almost complete. But before you could actually close this, it is going to ask you a couple of things to configure it. So the first thing what it is going to ask is your email address. Now remember, this email address should be the same email address as you are trying to log in into Microsoft Fabric. So let's say I'm using my email address, which I have set up based upon my directory. And this is the email address which I'm using for working on Microsoft Fabric. So once I sign in, so it is going to ask you to pick up an account. So I'll pick up the same account and give my password over here. So once I give my password, it is going to send me an authentication request to approve it on the Microsoft Authenticator. So let me approve this request. So yes, I've approved this request and it is gonna sign in on. So now it says on-premises data gateway. It mentions the email address by which you are trying to register that. So I'm registering a new gateway on this computer. So I don't want to migrate or restore. That's the second option. But here we are registering a new gateway on this computer. So I'll just say next. And the first thing which you need to provide is the on-premises data gateway name. So let's say I'll just give it like SQL Server Gateway. So this is the name, and if there is already a gateway cluster, you could add it to a gateway cluster, but this is a very simple installation for demo purposes, so I'm just doing that. The next thing is you just need to specify a recovery key, kind of a password, by where if you forgot or anything, you could be this would be used to restore the gateway. So I'll just supply one of the keys, and I'll just need to confirm that. And once I confirm it, I'll just try to configure it. So once it sets up all the parameters, then it would let us know whether the gateway has been configured or not. Now this gateway, once configured, could essentially be checked up in the Microsoft Fabric whether that gateway is online or not. So now if you see, the on-premises data gateway looks all good. You have ready status over here, Microsoft Fabric ready status. So I'll just simply close it. So one of the parts of installation on the SQL Server Windows installation is done. Now I can just go back to my Fabric, and let's say I'll just refresh this so that just in order to make sure if any gateway settings have been changed or new gateway has been installed, we could actually see that. So in order to see the gateway, I'll just go on to the settings and then say manage connections and gateways. So once you click on this, it would essentially show you certain connections, on-premises data gateway, which is the one which we are interested in. And of course, there are some other gateway options, which right now we are not going to look at it. So I'll click on premises data gateway. And if you see, this was the gateway name that we provided, the email address which we used, and the status. So if you could click on this, check status, loading, so it says online. So it means the gateway is perfectly working. Microsoft Fabric and my SQL Server Windows machine is definitely in contact. They can communicate, and now I could technically use this gateway. For example, like I can go on to the connections and I can create new, and I can specify on-premises virtual network or some cloud services, and I can specify the cluster name and the connection name. So the gateway cluster name is the actual name. So let's say you could specify that gateway, and then you could give any specified connection name to create those connections. That's beyond the scope of this video, but this is the way by which the Microsoft Fabric could actually start communicating to a SQL Server which is running on premises with the help of a SQL Server gateway installation type. So I hope guys this could be helpful to you when you are trying to move data from your local on-premises SQL Server, let's say on-premises SQL Server like in a VM machine or anywhere, and you could actually get it into Microsoft Fabric by writing some pipelines or anything. So I'll be coming back with some more videos. So till then, stay safe and have a good one. Thank you.